Let's get started. So let's talk. So again, welcome to English class. Are you ready for interview? This is Anaceli. I'm a naturalized citizen, and I have had to study and work hard to pass this test. And I know how nerve-wracking this is to do, but with practice we can do it. And here I am to work with you, and excited to be on board so that you can also be successful. Today we're going to be talking about the Constitution. The Constitution is an important element that we need to know when we interview for this citizenship. And the question is, what is the supreme law of the land? What is the supreme law of the land? The answer is the Constitution. The Constitution was written in 1787 by the founding fathers. The founding fathers were the original leaders of the United States who decided to declare themselves independent from England and wanted to start a new government in the United States, and also wanted to have established laws so that they could govern themselves. Uh, the founding fathers are also known as the framers, not farmers, the framers. They framed the law, they designed the law, they wrote the Constitution in 1787. So why do we want to study about the Constitution? What does the Constitution do? The Constitution does three things for us. It sets up the government, it defines the government, and it protects the basic rights of people, of all Americans. Sets up the government, defines the government, and protects the basic rights of Americans. Um, Before we can continue, let's talk about federalism. Federalism is important for us to understand how the United States government is designed, and why the founding fathers, the framers, wanted to have this system of government. So federalism is the dividing the power between the national government in Washington, D.C., and the 50 states of the United States. So dividing the power. The founding fathers, the framers of our Constitution, wanted this country to have a system of government that was balanced. It was divided into three branches of government: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. And you might say, why did they do this? Well, for them, they wanted to have a system of accountability. They wanted the government to represent the people, to do what it needed to do, but also they wanted the powers to be balanced, so that not one system would be more powerful than the other. And so they divided it into three branches. The legislative branch, they make the laws, and it's made of the House of Representatives and the Senate. The House of Representatives and the Senate, and their whole thing is to make laws, bring ideas to the House, work on the laws, research, and do what they need to do, and then, of course, pass the laws, which is called ratifying the laws. The next branch of government is the executive branch, and that is the president. He is the one who's like the police officer. He makes sure that we follow, he enforces the laws. He's the commander in chief. He's the leader of the military. He's also in charge of State Department issues. He appoints ambassadors to other countries, and he is also in charge of making sure that our military does what it needs to do, funds it, helps to lead it, and ensure that things are done correctly for the country, for the benefit of the country, for the benefit of all Americans. The judiciary branch, is what the Supreme Court is all about. They look at the laws, and if there's something in question that their people are talking about, and it's not decided at the local branch in local states, that question might be sent to the judicial branch of the Supreme Court, and they will analyze the laws, that will interpret and make sure that we are following the the laws as best as possible and interpret it to ensure that it benefits Americans in general. So those are the three branches of government that we have: legislative, executive, and judiciary branch. And this is a map here that explains more or less what it looks. It's a simplistic map that talks about our three branches of government that are forming our founding fathers, our framers wanted us to have three branches so that we can have power divided, and that not one person would have all the power, just a few people would have all the power to govern, and wanted us to have what we call check and balance system of government. And that is what federalism is the dividing of the powers between the national government and the 50 states. Isn't this cool? Isn't this great? Love it. Moving on. What is we the people? Why do we see this all the time? We the people. The idea of self-government is in the first three words of the Constitution. What are these words? It's we the people. So why we the people? We the people of the United States to form a more perfect union. Perfect union? Why? What did our founders, the founding fathers, the framers of the Constitution mean by we the people? Let's keep going. Before we keep going and talk a little bit, I just want to have this page in Spanish for my Spanish speakers. La idea del autogobierno son las primeras tres palabras de la Constitución. ¿Qué son estas tres palabras? We the people, nosotros la gente. Nosotros el pueblo de los Estados Unidos para formar una unión más perfecta. We continue. Here is the preamble to the United States Constitution that talks about it. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Again, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to all, and our posterity. What does posterity mean? We'll talk about it in the next page. To do order and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. What does the Constitution say? It says it establishes justice, domestic tranquility in the United States so that we can live peacefully in this country. That's what domestic tranquility means, that all Americans can feel free to live and be respected. Common defense of having liberty and not feeling that we are at war with each other, and having rules to govern us, and then also the general welfare, liberty for all, for ourselves and for our posterity. Posterity just means our future generations, our kids, our grandkids, our future generation in this country. So what does the Constitution say? We establish justice, domestic tranquility in the country, defense for all, defending ourselves from our enemies, the general welfare for all Americans living here, liberty for all, ourselves, and for our future generation, our grandkids. Here it is in Spanish. ¿Qué dice la Constitución? Es para establecer justicia, tranquilidad doméstica, defensa común para todos en Estados Unidos, el bienestar general, libertad para todos nosotros y para nuestros nietos y futura generación futura. Okay, moving along, we are going to practice our dictation. Practicing our dictation again. What's the rationale? Why do we practice? What's the reason we practice? So that when we're asked a question by the naturalization officer, when we're asked a question, we can answer the question correctly. We can write it correctly, so we can pass the written component of the interview. That is why I want to go over it so that we can practice. So the question is, what is the supreme law of the land? What is the supreme law of the land? What is the supreme law of the land? And the answer is the Constitution. The Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Number 2, what does the Constitution do? What does the Constitution do? What does the Constitution do? Answer is sets up the government. Sets up the government. Sets up the government. Defines the government. Defines the government. Defines the government. Protects the basic rights of all Americans. Protects the basic rights of all Americans. Protects the basic rights of all Americans. Moving on. The idea of self-government is the first of 3 words of the Constitution. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? What are these words? What are these words? We, the people. We, the people. Answer, we, the people. What is the form of government of the United States? And here we're repeating something that was pre-recorded a week before. So I just want to keep adding and reviewing the ones that we've studied before so that we can continue practicing and memorizing what we need to know. What is the form of government of the United States? What is the form of government of the United States? What is the form of government of the United States? And if you've noticed, I try not to go too slow, but I try not to go too fast. I'm aiming to dictate towards the middle so that you can become familiar with the sound, so you can practice hearing it. Because the immigration officer will not be speaking slowly. He will be, or she will be speaking at a normal pace. So I want you to be comfortable hearing it at a medium pace so that you can develop the sound. You can become comfortable listening to it so that you can practice it and become familiar with it. So I'm aiming for the middle, not too slow, not too fast, just in the middle. So again, what is the form of government of the United States? The answer, it is a republic. It is a republic. It is a republic. But it is also a constitution-based federal republic. It is a constitution-based federal republic. And that goes back to our previous question about the Constitution, where we talk about federalism, where our founding fathers wanted a balanced governmental system. They wanted us to have 3 branches of government so that not one power was more powerful than the other. They wanted 3 branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branches. And that's part of why we have a government that's not only republic, it is constitution-based federal republic, and it is representative, sorry, and it is a representative democracy. And again, going back to my previous lesson, a representative democracy means that it's a democratic system where we elect our House of Representatives, our senators, and they go to Washington, D.C., and they study laws, make laws, and push the laws and vote on the laws so that the bills become laws. And then, of course, the president, approves it, enforces it, and of course, if there's questions or there are issues that people can't agree on, it's taken sent to the judicial branch where our 9 justices look at the laws, interpret it, and ensure that it is fair and it's okay. It's something that it's good for the common good of the United States, for all the people, we the people. And one more thing, guys, again, before I close, practice is key. Remember, practice. Practice the answers, practice your questions, practice your answers, practice the grammar, practice. And feel free to contact me, because together we can learn, together we can do it. Welcome again. And if you like it, welcome. Subscribe and let your friends know. I will be doing a recording once a week. If I can, I'll do twice. But for now, I will be doing once a week because I am homeschooling my child, and it's been a challenge to record sometimes. But I'm giving it all my best, and here I am. Thank you for joining me, and goodbye. See you later. Goodbye. And don't forget to subscribe. Hasta luego.